Astro's Playroom, because Astrobot Rescue Mission was fantastic on VR, so I'm expecting some good things for this one. So let's go into the first PS5 game I'm gonna play. Or not, because it's downloaded an update. Shit. Shit. The PS5 launched on November 12th, 2020, in America at least, but seeing as I lived in the UK, all I got on that day was my 2 games, Spider-Man and Sackboy, and one of my DualSense controllers, so I was pretty much stuck without being able to use them for a whole week, as the console didn't come out in the UK until the 19th of November. However, that week eventually went by, and I finally got my hands on a brand new PlayStation 5 console. However, while I was happy now, the events leading up to this PS5 left me far from impressed. You see, I feel this launch has been terrible. The hype surrounding this console and the build up towards it, to its release, just pales in comparison to what they did with PS4, and by they I mean Sony. Sony's team around the PS4's launch was so much better than the team they were using for this one. I mean, hell, it may even be the same people, but I would struggle to believe that, considering how great the marketing, the hype and the build-up with the PS4 was compared to the PS5's launch. For ages we were unsure as to whether the console would even come out this year. We didn't know the price for absolutely ages, and we hadn't even seen the UI until near enough up to the month of the release of the console. In stark contrast to the PS4's release, we saw loads of information about it beforehand, much earlier on, to allow you to build up the hype for the console. They explained all of the features ahead of time, and they showed us all of the games that we could play, all of the actual exclusives that we could play. I mean, yeah, there were Killzone and Knack, which weren't that great, but they were still exclusive. They were exclusive to the PS4. Whereas on the PS5, we only get PS4 and 5 games, not really any PS5 exclusives, other than Bloodborne as a first-party exclusive. The likes of Spider-Man, Miles Morales are all PS4 games, and that kind of takes the shine out of them, to be honest, because you know that you could have just brought the PS4 version and saved yourself a hell of a lot more money. And yes, I also know there's Astro's Playroom, which was a free game bundled in with the console. However, that one is a very short experience. I even platinumed it the same day that I got the console, so it doesn't really offer so much value for your time, really, because it's just such a short experience. While an awesome one, it lacks the fully fledged gaming experience that you want when you buy a brand new console. Another problem I've had with the PS5 in general is that it's really expensive, and again, I hate to keep going back to the PS4, but that's what I need to compare it to, because that was the previous console, and when that launched, I got a bundle of the console, 2 controllers, the camera, a headset included with it, and a copy of Killzone for £450. Yet when I got my PS5, I paid $450 for the console and the 1 controller included only. And yeah, okay, Astrobot's in there, so we'll say maybe 1 game, but it's still not as good as value that I got with the PS4, and there wasn't really any bundles around, because trying to order this thing was a pain in the ass, so I had to just go for the most basic version available. And look at the console, it's one big son of a bitch, man. So another problem I had was, would it even fit under the TV? It fits under here. Cleared out a big old bit of space. It needs to be over there. And that door that gets in there. Well, I can't put my PS3 in the corner, which I was planning to do. Perhaps the biggest problem, though, was just how the launch was handled in general.
Are you fucking kidding me?
there were so many reports of problems with PS5 orders, especially around the launch time when consoles were going missing. Amazon customers were getting cat food instead of the consoles. People's ones were getting stolen. People were selling them on eBay for triple the price. Game were emailing everyone who ordered it the night before to say that Yodel might not deliver your console on day one, just to let everyone down at the very last minute. Then there was a blame game between the two companies. It was just an absolute shambles. Trying to order it when the pre-orders went live, Sony said we'd all get time, yet they just tweeted it out randomly and shops just did it at midnight. And then when you try and get on there, the shops just crash and the websites go down, and then it's just a pick and mix of who will fucking get it or not. A lucky fucking dip. It's just shite. The organisation and planning of this launch just seemed to just go out the window, and maybe that was due to the problems in the world right now. I get it, it's hard to do things the way you want to do them, but still, this just feels like a rushed launch. I mean, were we really ready for a new console? My PS4 was still brilliant, and there were still some awesome games coming out. And that's kind of the thing. I don't feel like we did need this. I brought this because I wanted to have it day one and experience PlayStation 5 first, before seeing it in countless videos and articles on my favourite websites. I wanted to live it on the first day and experience it with most people who were buying it at launch. But I didn't really need it. I could have brought Spider-Man and Sackboy on my PS4 and played those versions and been perfectly happy, because after playing the Spider-Man Miles Morales and having the ray tracing stuff on, it didn't really impress me at times. It looks great indoors, and sometimes when you're swinging through the city, it looks cool to see the city reflected back. However, if you were to stop in the city and have a look, it kind of goes like a PS3 version of the world, where it doesn't quite look as detailed and the animations are quite sloppy at times, depending on who's there and how many people are behind you in the real world for the reflection to show. And yeah, the load times are the greatest thing though, because they are super, super fast. In terms of setting up the PS5, it was quite simple, to be fair. There was a nice menu, though it did have to restart and install things multiple times. It did let me put a game disc in and install that while it was doing other things, so that was kind of cool. Then when we get to the PS5's menu, that was where I found another sort of problem, as at the minute, I just don't like this menu. It's so awkward to get to simple things, and it's made it twice as hard to get around it than it was on PS4. On PS4 you had two bars, a top bar and a bottom bar with certain things on each one, and you could scroll left and right and press up and down to move between the bars, and it was really fast. Yet on PS5 it kind of decides to split it into sort of three sections: the top left tier bit, a top right section, and then a hidden bit at the bottom that you have to reveal by pressing the PS button. It's just clunky, and maybe it's just because I'm so used to the PS4, and eventually with time I'll get used to it, but it just seems like you have to press more buttons to get to things. I mean, I'm still not 100% sure a fast way to get to like friends list and messages, because they're just hidden away at that bottom menu. I will say though, the shop is much better in terms of loading, as it just loads instantly. However, navigating through the shop to find things, that's a lot worse. The layout is terrible. One of the big highlights for me, other than the load times and the nicer looking graphics to be fair, is the way the PlayStation will record up to 30 seconds of footage every time you unlock a trophy, and then the cool little overlays they put on to show you these trophies. That is really cool, because for me, doing loads of trophy-based videos, it definitely comes in handy. And finally, we can see the trophy notification on screen when we record our capture. Brilliant. Then, there's another problem though. Whenever PS5 kind of gives me something good, it takes away something with the other hand. It's a kind of two steps forward, one step back for me at the minute, I feel. Because the trophy list, they've messed up the trophy list, which I think is terrible. So, on PS4, I can no longer see any games I get on PS5. They just won't show up in the list. So that's a problem. But I kind of get that, because it's a console above, so you don't necessarily expect it to have it. But on the PS5, just looking at each trophy is a chore because they make them all so big. It reminds me of like the Xbox UI front end, in that just everything's huge, so each trophy is a big giant square, and you can't just look at them all in like a simple list view. You've got to scroll all the way through. You can order them by your unlock date, or if you've not unlocked them, or the rarity and things like that, but it's a bit crap. You also don't seem to get the picture there. I know it's taking the screenshots, but I can't look at the trophy itself and then look at the screenshot for the trophy through that menu. I'll have to go all the way back to the capture gallery section and look at them from there, which is kind of annoying. Also, when you're doing the downloads and uploads, you can't actually go to this screen beforehand. You have to make sure you're downloading something for you to be able to go and look at it, because it just doesn't seem to be there, which I don't quite get. Just have it always there. I don't see why it has to be hidden. You know, if I've got a download pause, does it still show up? I'm not really sure. It's very awkward to navigate, I must say. Though, just like the PS4, when that first launched, the download speeds at the minute are really good. So if you are downloading a lot of things now on your PS5, do it quick while the speeds are fast. And of course, I put Last of Us Remastered on there from the PS4 PlayStation Plus collection. And I did put it on and booted it up, and it did load within about 7 seconds, which was really fucking cool, because usually that takes about 2 minutes. But other than that, it didn't really look any better. It seemed to just have all the PS4 Pro settings than the basic one. Don't get me wrong though, I think the PlayStation 5 is going to be an amazing console, and I'm really enjoying it. I've been on it pretty much non-stop for the past few days after getting it at launch. It's just that there's a few little niggles with it at the minute, and the fact that most of the games that I've got are also available on PS4 has kind of took the shine off of it a little bit. It kind of stings that those games aren't properly PlayStation 5 exclusive. But there are lots of things to like about the console, particularly the controller itself, which is absolutely fantastic. I love the haptic feedback where the triggers won't always go in, or they resist slightly, and all the different subtle variations of the vibration function just make it feel really good. And it's a big, bulky controller that actually fills your hands, and it's just really fun to play with it on the games. And the games that I've played so far are brilliant, and I've loved all of them. It's just the PS5 needs its exclusives, proper exclusives, just like Astro and Demon's Souls. I think that's what I need to do. I need to go and buy Demon's Souls.
Adaptive triggers, yep. Spider-Man's ready to play. Okay, next. The touchpad. Whee! Oh, that's me drawing at it. Super Beanie Man Gaming there. Next. Motion sensor. Ah, okay. I wasn't sure if it had that still. Yeah. Ah! Right. Well, what's this here? A microphone. Hello, hello. Let's go. Alright. Woo! PS5, baby. Oh, this is excellent. There's the PS5. Oh, cool. That's epic.